Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Okay, Rabbi Isai. We have a very interesting daf, a very easy daf. A lot of the daf is just like different materials that you do kisei adam with, like many different materials. We have pictures, we have stuff, very cool stuff. Zokt the Gemara. We're holding 5 lines from the bottom of Pezayin Omid Beis. Tanan Hasam. So just to start off with, Taisus jumps in right away. Tanan Hasam, 95% of the time in Shas means there's a Mishnah over there. In fact, if you look 6 lines from the top of Pezayin Omid Beis, right where it says Gemara, the first words are Tanan Hasam. That means there's a Mishnah in Zvachim. That's just nice Mishnah. Don't worry about it. So over here it says Taisus is just a brisa. It's not an actual Mishnah. Okay, not awesome. Fascinating sugya here. Kol mashke hameis tahirim chutz midamei. Now, anybody that's been part of Daf Yomi for a little bit, just a few months, the sugya is a joke. Not awesome, and it's very easy. It's easy. Kol mashke hameis tahirim chutz midamei. Listen to this. Tears that come out of any liquid, urine, tears, milk from a woman, dead. Tar. The only liquid that comes out of a dead person that's tamei is blood. And on that, the Gemara is going to ask a question that we see mefurish, that is not true, that it is tamei. And the Gemara at the end says, no, it's not tamei. So that's the sugya. It's about 10, 15 lines, and that's it. So if you don't like tum and tahara, too bad. It's going to be over in 5 minutes. But nevertheless, we're going to go through the whole idea of tum and tahara. It's cool. We have a lot of cool videos also. But it's so interesting, and I say this over and over. Before you learn Daf Yomi, it's like an abstract thing. It's like a scary thing. Tum, Tara, what is it? What's going on? A typical yeshiva guy doesn't really get it. It's not something that we learn in yeshivas, and it's scary. But at the end of the day, it's very, very simple. Literally a 3-minute explanation, and you got it. You got 85% of the halachas. There are little variations and stuff like that, but the main idea is there. I'm going to explain it all. And if you have, like we had yesterday, the blood that congeals, the one on the left side, the water in the blood separates from the blood. And the Gemara called it salalta. It's yellow, that yellowish color right over there. If it has a little bit of a red tint to it, mitamin ba'oil, that we already saw yesterday, tumas oil. We'll show it again because Morty wants to see it again, so we'll show it for Morty. Why not? Listen, it's his 4th day here. It's not a joke. If you bring a mace into a room, the entire room becomes tamei. Everything in the room, we show it in red. If you have a little vase in the side, it becomes tamei. You have a food over there, everything in the house. That's why you tell the kohanim to leave a hospital. There's a dead person on the floor. You gotta leave. Everybody leaves. Why? Because it all becomes tamei to this place. So if you have this little, the red stuff becomes tamei. Says the Gemara like this. Umashke hameis tahirim. What do you mean that the liquids are tar? I'm going to prove to you that it's not tar. Which at the end the Gemara says it's not a good proof. Beraminu, 2 lines on the bottom. Mashke tvul yoim. What is a tvul yoim, Morty? So here's a tvul yoim. This is all for Morty. So because you touch a dead sheretz, what do you become, Morty? You become a rishon, the tumah. The sheretz is avatuma, you become a rishon. You have to go to the mikvah, even that day. But after you go to the mikvah, you don't become tar. You become a tvul yoim. You're in between state. Morty knows this already, but it's okay. So do other people. You become purple. You go from red to purple. You become green, which is completely tar, at nightfall. Okay. Viriminu. Mashke tvul yoim. What's a mashke tvul yoim? This guy tvul yoim, this guy on the screen, right? If he spits at somebody. His liquids, his urine, his spit, his tears, identical to as if this cup of water, the tvul yoim puts his finger in the cup of water. What happens to the cup of water? What happens, Rabbi say? The same thing that happens to his tears. So what is that? 0. Nothing. Nothing happens. Ve'elu ein mitamim. Okay, so that's a new halacha that we just learned today. A new yisoid. It's all tar. Ushar kol atmeim bein kalim bein chamurim. So let's do the chart just for fun. What you have on top is the worst of the worst of the worst. It's called a via voisa tuma. That's a dead man. That person. That's the worst tuma you could possibly have. And the way tuma always works is when a tuma touches something, whatever that thing is, that thing drops one level. It always drops one level. Almost always. There's an exception. I'll tell you in a second. So, if a via voisa tuma touches a human being that's alive, he becomes a what? A avatuma. It goes from a via voice to just one avatuma. A dead rat, which is also on the same level as a person who touched a dead person, is an avatuma. A dead rat is not a via voisa tuma, he's an avatuma. So when an avatuma touches food or even a vessel, when a sheretz touches a vessel, it becomes one level less. It goes from avatuma to what? A rishon. And when a rishon touches something else, it drops one level to what? A sheni. When a sheni touches something else, a shlishi. Now, a sheni can't really make other things tamei. But for that, I'm going to show you a beautiful video. Check this out. This is gorgeous, this thing. Now, we're not so familiar with this video. I haven't shown it a lot. If a dead mouse touches a piece of meat, he becomes a rishon, a one. If that rishon touches another piece of meat, he becomes a sheni. If that piece of meat touches another piece of meat, he can't make him a shlishi. However, if he walks away and touches what? Truma. Now he can make a piece of truma a shlishi, because truma is very sensitive. What's more sensitive than truma? Huh, Morty? A carbon. Kachim. So a shlishi can make a carbon, like it looks like a piece of meat, this piece of meat, a revi. And a revi, that's it. He's done. A revi could actually make, what, does anybody know what a revi can make a chamishi? Paraduma. And it can make a mashishi and a shvi, a shmini, the whole thing. Well, let's just stop at the fourth. Okay. So now that we know that, there's one cool thing about Tumah that we need to speak about today. And that is liquids, even if they're a shlishi, if they become tamei, they become a what? A rishon. That's the Rabban we're going to see soon. They climb up, they become worse than what they were. They move up, so to speak. Instead of dropping down to Revi, they move up to a rishon. That's liquids. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So, says the Gemara, V'shar kol atmeim, all these other tamei beings, ben kalin, ben chamurim, whether they are a light tamei or a very severe tamei. And the Gemara is going to explain what that means. So if, let's say, it's liquids that touch a dead person, they will become, the Gemara says, a rishon. Ve'elu, tchila. Tchila always means a rishon. So, whether they are severe tamei or light tamei, if it's tears that come out of them, spit that comes out of them, that has the same halacha as liquids that they touch with their finger, and that means that they will become a rishon. Chutz, besides. By the way, again, if this is too complicated for you for whatever reason, I don't know why, because you have a trauma and you have a block to this Daf Yomi is going to be over in 3 minutes by the 2 dots, which is in 5-6 lines. Akol panim. Chutz min hamashke shu avatuma. If you have the liquid that is the avatuma, what's avatuma liquid? Such as the spit of a zav. The spit of a zav is avatuma. It's inherently tamei. It comes out of his mouth. Or shichva zera. But these are avatuma. Now, here's the question. Now we got to the question. My kalin or my chamur, what's severe and what's non-severe? My lav kalin sheretz v'zav. If you look at the chart over here, on the second step from the top, you have a sheretz, and on the third step you have a zav. Compared to the dead persons on the top step, these are lighter types of tumah. And what's the severe one? A dead man. My lav kalin sheretz v'zav. The chamur maze. And what does it say in this? What did we just read? We just read that the liquids that come out of them, they are tamei what? A tchila. What's tchila? A rishon. So you just told me that liquids that come out of a dead person, what's liquids that come out of his tears, his spit, urine, they are a rishon. We started off the sugya saying that all the liquids that come out of a dead person, tahar. The only liquid that comes out of a dead person, that's tameh, is blood. And over here it says no, that they're a rishon. But it doesn't say mefurish, it says kalin and chamurim. I think in my mind, chamur means a dead person. So the way to get out of the question is to say no, chamur does not mean a dead person. Chamur means something else. Okay. Loi, kalin, sheret, chamurim, zav. There is a lighter one and a severe one, but the severe one is a zav, and the light one is a sheret. But wait a minute, listen to this. Doesn't this bother you guys? How is it possible that liquids that come out of a zav are tameh, and liquids that come out of a dead person are tar? Where's the logic? Dead person is much worse. What's the answer? So the Gemara, Maishna Zav, that goes to Rabbanon, Maishna Meis, that goes to Rabbanon. This is all Gzeri Rabbanon. So why in the world would Chacham say that the tears and the spit that comes out of a dead person, tar? Why? So the Gemara, very simple. Zav d'leibdili inchiminei. Maybe there's a Zav here in the room, right here sitting on this table, and nobody knows. How will you ever know? There's no sign on his head that says, I'm a Zav. Zav is a sickness, it's a disease. Liquid comes out of his body because he's sick. Nobody knows. That's a private matter. So Chacham have to say, hey, we gotta beef this up. We gotta make sure that nobody touches the Zav. And we say, hey, his spit, he's dangerous. Don't sit next to him because his spit will make you tummy. Oh, okay, he's a Zav. Everybody goes like this. But a dead person, I don't need to start making chumras. Everybody stays away from a dead person. Everybody knows that a dead person is a dead person. Zav goes around Rabbanon. End of the sugya. How was it, Morty? Not bad, no? Okay. So we learned in the Mishnah, Damanitas the Shalasakin, that if you have even blood on a knife, you should cover it. Tana Rabbanon. V'chisahu, it says in the pasuk you should cover it. Melamed Damanitas the Shalasakin, Chayav l'chasis, you should cover even blood on a knife. Rabbi Yehuda comes along and says, let me explain you. He doesn't come to argue, he comes to explain the Mishnah. If that's the only blood you can find from this animal, you have a chiyuv to cover blood. You have nothing else, so cover the blood on the knife. What if there's blood on the floor? And that's the good news, Rabbi say, because we're going to see a three-way machlekes. Here's the machlekes. How much blood one must cover? According to Chachamim, all blood. All blood. So you have blood on the wall, blood on the floor, blood on the knife, blood on the machines, in the shlachtos. You got to sit there and sprinkle and look with the microscope and sprinkle. Baruch Hashem, the halacha is not like Chacham. Who's the halacha like? Rabbi Yehuda. He says a little bit. Yaitz, a little bit. You don't need all of it. So we have a mazel. Because guess what? If the halacha was you have to cover everything, the meat would be $42 a pound. Yeah? Reb Shimon Gamliel says he's in between. It's dama nefesh. What's dama nefesh? Dama nefesh, if you're queasy from blood, if you're like Mordechai, don't look. Dama nefesh is the blood that squirts out forcefully right after you shecht an animal. All that, whatever drips after is not important, all that must be covered. Okay. So, maybe it should have been better, it would have been less confusing if you had done it with a deer. Tanya Yidach, remember? That was Chachamim. Chachamim say all of the blood you must cover. All the blood that spritzes out, you find it on the wall, on the table, you got to cover it. V'shalagapayim means the walls of the shechita. So when you slice that neck and it opens up, all that blood in the animal you have to cover. Interesting. Chayv l'chasis. Omer Shimon Gamliel. Chazon Gamliel says no. It's only if you didn't cover the blood, the life blood. That initial blood, that squirt, and what's the source of the three-way machlokes? Rabbanan Savri damai kol damai. It makes sense. The Torah says you should cover damai, its blood. It doesn't say how much. Its blood means all the blood. Rabbi Yehuda Savri damai and Bafil mixes damai. The word damai means from the blood. It doesn't mean all the blood. It's part of the blood. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel saw about damai. You're right. It does say damai hamiyucha. Damai means the blood. Like with hey idea, the special blood, the blood that his soul is in it. That's where the neshama comes out of. That's the blood you have to. So we pass like Rabbi Yehuda Baruch Hashem, and some of the blood is enough. Okay, now we're going into a whole sugya of different types of material that you could use to cover the blood. So I just want to show you these are the 3 rules that explain the whole sugya, and then if you know this, then you don't know. Number 1 is if you could grow something like dirt that you could grow, then that's something that you could cover blood with. So any material, we're going to give you a list of 10 materials that you can grow stuff in. It doesn't have to be, it can be talc. What is it called? Talc, the T-A-L-C, talc. The white stuff, I don't know what. It could be anything. Sawdust is one of them. It's one of them, it's in the list. Now, there's another massive chiddush. Anything that has a name of dirt. If the Torah calls it dirt, and you cannot plant in it at all, but the Torah calls it dirt, I don't want to give it away. Okay, I'll give it away. Gold dust. If you grind gold down, you can't plant anything in it, but the Torah calls it dirt. So that's something that you can use. If you run out of dirt, you take your gold, you grind it down, and you do kisei adam. Listen, if you're on a boat, something, you got to do it. You got to do what you got to do. And finally, one halacha of what you cannot do. If you have dirt that you cannot plant in, what's dirt you can't plant in? Like beach sand, no? In the desert, you can't plant stuff in that sand over there. Right, so you remember the desert? Can't plant anything over there. So Mela, you cannot use sand that you can't plant in. So if you have sand, it's perfect, it's very fine, it's geschmack, but it's not plantable. Is that a word? Now I'm going to say plantable. Yes, some things do grow, but whatever. For the most part, you can't. Says the Mishnah, what can you use to cover the blood? What can't you use? Fertilizer, that's very thin. And very thin dirt. Besid, lime. What did I say? Oh, okay, fine. Chol, sand. Dirt, sand, to me it's all the same. Are you saying there's a difference? Okay. Besid. Limestone. Ubacharsis. This is ground down. You have like earthenware that you broke down into small pieces. It goes together. There are 2 different things, but the shikatasha. Levena is a brick. Umegufa is it's a barrel made out of earthenware. Shikatasha, that you broke it down, you ground it up. So he takes his broken earthenware, his barrels, throws it through a gravel machine, and it comes out very thin. Aval ein mechasen, you cannot use loy bezevel hagas veloy bechol hagas. You cannot use something that's thicker. That's thicker fertilizer, thicker sand. Veloy beleveino b'mgufa shloiketashon. You can't use bricks and barrels that weren't ground down. It's a great idea to take a plastic bag and cover it. No, you can't use a pot and cover it. It needs to be fine dirt, sand, or something similar. Here comes the first yesod. Something that you could grow flowers, plants in it, not cactus trees, but other stuff. If you cannot grow something in it, end the story. Says Gemara, what does it mean, the thin sand? If the guy, the fabricator of earthenware, you go to those a lot of people, they make earthenware with the kids and stuff. So you have this guy making it. He uses fine sand. If he doesn't have to break it up, that's the simon. If it's good for him, it's good for us. Say even some say it goes on what you shouldn't use. You should not cover loy bezev lagas, now with the thick stuff, loy bechol lagas, and the thick sand. What does it mean? If he has to break it down with his own hands, then you cannot use it. The first thing was, if he doesn't have to break it down, you could use it. Or it says, if he does have to break it down, you cannot use it. Where's the nafkamina and the 2 pshatim? If it's one of these in between that you don't have to, you do have to, the mivrach ifruchi, that you do You break it down with your fingers, so to speak. You don't need a machine, but it's as if it's considered that you don't need to break it down, and therefore it's kosher according to the first lashon. That would be considered a kosher product. Maybe you could just cover it with stones. Take gravel, for instance, thicker stones, throw it over. Or put some sort of vessel over it. Should be with dirt. So it says it should be dirt. Who told you can use things that are similar to dirt? Crushed earthenware. Here, so I have a bunch of. Why am I not showing you these beautiful things that Yoshi put together? Shchikas charsis is grindings of pottery, top left corner. Shchikas avanim, grindings of stone, top right corner. Mesiris charshin, this is carpenter's sawdust, right bottom. And his na'eris pishtan, fine chaff of flax. Gishmak. Besides, the charsis, that pay cheres over the base. Leveno, meguvish ktasham, you take a stone and you take a barrel, throw it into the grinder. Talmud loymer v'chiso. Okay, so it doesn't say you should use dirt to cover it. V'chiso, cover it. So Mela, I added all these things. Now, yochol shanimar b'av zevel agaz b'chol agaz. Maybe I should add more, even the thicker stuff. Ushchikas klei matachais. Oh, and maybe even includes metal. Take a pot, throw it through the grinder. Well, maybe it includes also a brick and a barrel that you didn't break down. V'kemach, v'subin, umursan. Oh, so it's kemach, subin, umursan. There we go. Zevel gas. Coarse dung. Subin, coarse flour. Mursan, he calls a bran. There's other pshatim, avanim, stones. So, these are the things that you can't use. Subin, umursan, tamaloymar be'ofer. Has to be like dirt. You have a list of things that are good and a list of things that are not good. Make a taste of these are good, these are not good. So, very simple. There's a ribun miyut. Chisa ba'offer. Mar bani seilu shehein min offer. Let's add everything that's like dirt. What does that mean? Dirt, what does dirt do? You could grow something in dirt. So anything that can grow in dirt, boom. Talk is something that you take off you shave a stone, right? So you could grow something that the Gemara says is okay. If you can't grow anything in it, you can't use it. Ask the Gemara, klal offer prat. So, this is another beautiful thing they did just for today. These are the shloshis remidas shatarin addresses them. If you look at Daled, top left corner, it's called the klal prat. We say in Korbanos a lot of times when we have time. We say Korbanos, klal prat, klal. You just say these words since you're a little kid. You don't know what you're saying. What's klal prat? Klal is a generalization. Prat is a specification. It's very, very specific. So what do we have? Bechiso. Bechiso means cover the blood in anything. In your pajamas, with a kli, with dirt, doesn't matter, with milk. But then it says ba'afar, it's very specific. So it says the Gemara, so wait a minute. The idea is, one of the 13 midas is klal prat. So what do you do when you have a klal and then a prat? V'chiso klal offer prat. Klal prat, ein ba'klal, elo masher b'prat. So it has to be exactly. If you have a klal prat and another klal, it's a sandwich, then you could add a lot of stuff. But if you only have a klal and then a prat, it has to be exactly like the prat. Offer in midach min alay. It's very specific, only dirt. Omer of Mari, let me tell you a pshat in klal prat. It's 2 lines, and then we're done with that sugya. Look, the word b'chiso means nothing to me. If the Torah says wood, and then it says something else, there's a klal, a prat. But b'chiso means nothing. B'chiso can mean put a garbage bag over it, put a kli over it. It can mean anything. So I need the prat to explain to me what the klal is. So then I lose that whole klal of prat. Then it's nothing. Then I'm not memad anything, I'm not merab anything, nothing. The klal is nothing on its own. I need a prat to explain it. I can't use it at all. Dorash Rav Nachman bar Rav Chisda. Says Rav Nachman bar Rav Chisda, Hey mechasen el bedover shezorim boy umatzmiach. You shouldn't use to cover blood only something that you could plant in it. Omar Rava Hai Burcha. This is still what you're saying. Okay, interesting lashon, says Rava. Now, why is it shtusam? Isn't it our Mishnah? Our Mishnah says, here's the klal, you have to be able to plant in it. The pshat is, seems like from Rashi, that on the reverse, what he's saying is, the Mishnah says that you have to plant. But what if it's something that you cannot plant in it? It's dirt that you can't plant. That he's saying that you can't use. Who said? Shtusam, not good. Why is that shtusam? I said it. I'm the one that told it to him. I'm not embarrassed to say that. I told that to him. And let me show you the proof. Before it's from this Mishnah. He's in the desert and he doesn't have any ashes to cover. Maybe it should say with the ayin, offer. What does it say on the side? Offer, yeah. It doesn't have dirt. Because aleph means ashes. Ayin means dirt. Offer with the ayin. Shoichek, what do? Shoichek dinazav mechasa. You guys love that one. What do? You take a $4,000 coin, grind it up, and you cover the. Listen, it's a mitzvah. There's no limit to a mitzvah. Oh, a fifth of your nechasim. I hope you have a little bit more than that. You have a car, you have a this. Shoichek dinazav mechasa. You're on a boat. I have a video of this, of a guy doing this. He doesn't have here. It says it with the ayin over here. He doesn't have dirt to do kisedam. What do? Take off your expensive coat. You burn your clothing. Now, what does it say? He's walking in the desert. And he doesn't have dirt to cover. He should use a golden coin. What's the question, Morty? He's in the desert. It's only dirt. The whole desert is full of dirt. How does he not have dirt? What's the answer? It's a raya that you can't use sand, that you can't grow stuff in. He's unlimited sand. So what does it say here? It says Mefurish, if he's in the midbar, you should use gold. Why use gold? Wherever you are, pick up a handful of this stuff and, because you can't grow stuff in it. Now I understand why you can use your clothing, because, as the Gemara is going to bring the pasuk soon, ashes are called offer. You can mix the two words, afer and offer. Eladiner zav min alan, where does the Torah call a golden coin offer? So now I just want to point this out. Now we understand the middle one. If it has a name of offer, gold has a name of offer. You cannot try to plant something in gold, it's not going to work. So why can you use it? Because it has a name of dirt. The Torah calls it dirt. So those are the two things that you're allowed to use. Physical dirt that you could grow something in it. You're allowed to use something that has a name of dirt. And you're not allowed to use dirt that you can't grow something in it. Those are the three halachas we just learned. Zag the Gemara. Tanu Rabbanan Mechasin Elabah Divri V'Shamai. Beishamai say you have to use only dirt. No, you can use ashes as well, because ashes are also called offer. And we said, if it's called offer, you can use it. Shenemar. So it calls it dirt instead of calling it ashes. We're talking about the ashes of a paraduma, yet the Torah calls it the dirt of the paraduma. So you see, dirt and ashes are interchangeable. It's the same word. One is with the ayin, one is with the aleph. Interchange. No, we're looking for dirt without an additional name. This has an additional name, afar sreifa. That's no good. That's the offer, not afar sreifa. Tana, so now we have more items. Hashchar is ground charcoal. Chol is, throughout Shas, women put chol. It's like makeup. It's ground blue stuff. Then you have also vinikras pisulim. That's in the bottom of the grinder. You have this, let's call it small millstone pieces. What does he call it? The scraping's a millstone. I guess when you grind with stone to stone, then you're going to have little pieces of stone break off those pieces. So you're allowed to use that. Zarnich is very dangerous. Comes from arsenic or piment. Okay, it's yellow, it's geschmack, great. What?
Don't eat it.
Do not eat it. Arsenic, very bad for your stomach. Omar Rava. So now we have a little piece of agat to finish off today. Avram Avinu compared himself to the dirt and to ashes. I'm dirt and ashes. I'm a nothing. I'm a nobody. This is Avram Avinu. Zachu bano of the shtei mitzvahs. So his children for generations was the two mitzvahs that one has to do with the word offer, one has to do with the word efer. First of all, efer para. You get to become tar through the ashes of the para aduma. Here, Shmuley, what's going on? You didn't give me any water. I'm thirsty. Part of afer soita. And also when a husband suspects his wife, she drinks the soita water and there's dirt in there, and this is because Avram Avinu said the word offer. Anoichi offer, so this is soita offer. He said efer, this para aduma efer. Isn't there another mitzvah that's done with dirt? And that's called Kisi Adam, covering the blood. So how come you should say, because Avraham Avinu said Ofar, that's why his kids were Zoicha to Kisi Adam. Says the Gemara, Hasam Echshem Mitzvah Ika, Hana, what would happen if there's no mitzvah of Kisi Adam? Nothing. You get to eat meat. You get to eat steak without covering the blood of a deer. If you don't have to cover the blood of a chicken, you don't know that you have to cover it. We don't even see it happening. So nothing happens. But what would happen if there's no offer efer of paraduma? We'd be in big trouble. Because we go to a Levaya like today, we're in big trouble. Or like the Chidah said, you can't achieve certain madregas in Yiddishkeit because we are tummy, tumas meis. We have this burden of tumah. We don't see it, but we're red. We're like in the videos. We walk around with a red halo around us. Why? And that prevents certain kedusha to enter us. A certain relationship with the Rebbeinu Shalom. You can't go into the Beis Hamikdash. You can't eat truma. Now, okay, today it doesn't apply, but we're walking around with tumah. So it hurts us. The efer of the paraduma helps us. Physically, it helps us. You can do stuff because you have an efer. You can go into the Beis Hamikdash. Right? When Mashiach comes tomorrow, how are we going to walk into the Beis Hamikdash if we're tamei? The stuff is going to help us. Kisei Adam doesn't help us. It's a mitzvah. Okay, fucking lulav. Does lulav help you? No. You got a mitzvah. It helps you in ruchnius ways, but not in this world. You don't get the hana over here. Efer of paraduma helps you in this world. The offer, that's the offer of the efer of paraduma. The offer of the saita also helps her husband and her. Now she's allowed to go back home. If she has, so it's a physical thing. He said the reason why it's not mentioned is because it's not a hana. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.